It is the 16th of January 2024 SPFL Roundup Show. And we're going to kick off with some retirement news just to spice things up a wee bit, because guess what, guys? Not like the transfer news is exactly heating up all that much, but Robert Snodgrass has retired from professional football. Of course, I believe his last, I was say his last job, his last team was Hearts, wasn't it? Or did he end up going to Luton after that? I actually can't really remember. I'm going to tell you right now, I had to pay a bit of respect to the guy. It was Hearts. Hearts were his last team. It was Luton. Then it was Hearts. He played 23 games for Hearts, but of course, he grew up in the Gallow Gate area, big man, in Glasgow. So there you go. Of course, he is only 36, and you know what? I'm not going to, pretend that Robert Snodgrass was the greatest ever player for Scotland, but you know what? He was a good servant. He was. For 8 years, he was good. He was dependable, and he had a decent career. Nothing to blow anyone away. But he played for some big clubs in there. West Ham, Aston Villa, Leeds, Hearts. All big clubs at the end of the day. And you trying to sneak Hearts in there? I fucking just did. What are you going to do about it? Anyway, 7 goals and 28 appearances for Scotland. He'll be gone, but not forgotten, big Roberto. But he's no deed, so don't worry about that. But Ridvan Yilmaz, let's talk about it. Clement says that Rangers want offer that cannot be refused. Sounding like something like the Godfather or the Sopranos or Goodfellas or something. An offer he simply could not refuse. How much is that? Rangers have already apparently turned down 3.4 million from Hellas Veronas and Galatasaray. So, how much are we going to keep on turning down? Honestly, I think it wouldn't be for much more than what we signed the guy for. I like Yilmaz, but I think we'd be lying if we said his stock has went up since he's been at Rangers, and it's got nothing to do with us. It's more to do with him, if I'm being honest. So I'm not too convinced that Ridvan Yilmaz is going to, sign on the dotted line as per se. But here, we'll have to wait and see, I guess. Because, would he want to leave Rangers? He's beginning to kneel and doing that left back position, but my only worry is his injuries. He's so injury prone, and hopefully, man, he can stay fit. Because if he stays fit, he's our number one left back for me. But yeah, his height's an issue, but here we can deal with it. I almost think Yilmaz would be suited more in like a back three or a back five, where he's the wing back rather than the left back. But anyway, moving on. Yesterday was a lot more news as well. You've got referees demanding more money. Cameron Carter-Vickers, that was a big one. Of course, Cameron Carter-Vickers being linked with West Ham, Nottingham Forest and Brentford. We did make a separate video on that, but just to wrap it up, how much Celtic fans do you want? Because I tell you what, I rate Carter-Vickers, right? And I'm not going to sit here and try and pretend that this guy is different gravy, because he is. He's a fantastic defender. Sometimes I banter with the bias, but the reality is I wish we had a fucking defender like Cameron Carter-Vickers at the back. But, Celtic have proven that with makeshift defences, they can beat Rangers. It's not like if Cameron Carter-Vickers goes, I can turn around and say, whoa, well, that's us won the league. No, I can't turn around and say that, because Celtic have had to deal with him being out most of the season, and Rangers, we haven't capitalised, so it would be fucking naive to suggest that. Anyway, obviously it weakens Celtic, not denying that, of course it would. If you lose one of the best players in the league, you're automatically going to get weakened. But here, I'm not going to lie and pretend that it's the difference maker in Rangers winning the league. Absolutely not. Owen Beck, though, they're throwing Rangers into the mix now with Owen Beck, even though I don't really think it's going to happen, to be perfectly honest. Now, Liverpool did recall him, but now apparently Robertson and Tomiskas are going to be returning at the end of January to training, so maybe they'll keep Owen back until like the last week of the window. But then saying that, it has come out and said that they might not want to loan him out to Celtic. They'd rather loan him out to England's lower leagues where he would start, because they feel if they loan him to Celtic, Owen Beck wouldn't be able to get a place over Greg Taylor. And to be perfectly honest, I think that's crazy. I think most Celtic fans would want Owen Beck to start over Greg Taylor. Maybe I'm crazy for suggesting that, but in my personal opinion, I think that's what they would rather happen, to be honest. But to wrap things up, I've just spotted another wee bit of news here. Ridvan Yilmaz looks like he could be on his way to Galatasaray. It looks like he's actually reached an agreement with them, and they've renewed their offer. So it just gets worse for Rangers, doesn't it? Like it really does. Anyway, let's move on, folks. Rangers. Hey, did you think there was going to be a roundup show where Rangers linked with a player rather than a player being linked out? Ha! Are you having a giraffe, big man?